Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to the Long-Term Podcast. I'm your host, Adven. Today, we have University of Alberta Business student and traveler, Jenine Soneja. We will discuss keeping a positive mindset in terms of friends, family, and relationships, effects of traveling on personal growth, and how those two correlate and influence starting a personal venture in business. Everyone, welcome. This is an amazing conversation, and I just went up to Jenine at the gym. We've known each other for a long time, but yeah, I think everything happens for a reason, and this was a phenomenal conversation, and you guys are in for a ride. Welcome. See that? It's not blurry at all, hey?
I don't think so.
No? Awesome. Yeah, I did not, kind of just neglected looking at the camera since I've just been so used to trusting the camera. Now I don't trust the camera.
After that?
Because after yesterday. Yeah, feel everything's all right? It's comfortable?
Yes, I'm ready.
Sweet. Yeah. It's just a conversation.
It's just a conversation. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even remember what I wrote on that paper.
No,
so
but
we're just going to go with it.
I have only been a guest one time for another podcast, and I wrote just as much as this. And yeah, it all just comes out.
Yeah.
In like different wording, and
the more I overthink it, the less I'm gonna get my point through. So
it just needs to flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How's your day?
Oh, my day's great. Went to work, clocked out, clock in, clock out. Went to the gym. And here I am.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Long-Term Podcast, Jenine Soneja.
Correct.
Yeah.
Got
so
it.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Sherwood Park. Actually, I moved here in the 7th grade from Malaysia. Parents moved a lot for work, but ultimately we do decide to call Sherwood Park home. I go to school at the U of A. I'm going to my 4th year of business school with a major in entrepreneurship and innovation. So that's kind of where I want to make my life head towards, which is to start my own venture, hopefully, like my dad. So when it comes to starting ventures and stuff, there's one thing I did realize is you can't really build a business without building yourself first, right? Especially as a human being, the way that you treat others will reflect in the way that you treat employees, people you work with. So that's what I want to discuss with you today is how to move throughout life with positivity. Try to understand different people's perspectives of situations and how to overcome those challenges that you may have in relationships, whether it be familial, with your friends, or romantic, right?
Well, when your goal is to build a successful business.
Yeah.
And for that endeavor, you need to cultivate a culture of positivity and of like-minded people. And you want to ensure that these people are well cared for. And to do that, you need to prioritize your mental health and cultivate positivity and do a lot of self-work. Because I have been in many, I have worked for businesses where, yeah, from the top, it's not good. And then it kind of trickles all down. And then you see all the workers aren't as happy because it's more, they more incentivize money, and it's just people want to do the best for them. But I feel like the companies where they do start off with a kind of this positive mindset and the culture is all brimming with good values, then it definitely, you see that. Yeah. You really see that around you.
Exactly. And when it comes to that, when it comes to running or managing a business, or even just working as an employee, if the higher ups really focus on employee happiness, then the employee will put more into the company. So it's an investment, right? You invest in their happiness through healthy workforce, and they'll pay you back, right? With better progress, growth, and ideas to help grow your company and your values, right?
Yeah. So, and I've noticed that anytime I'm appreciated at work, it makes me want to work harder.
Exactly. It's just positive reinforcement. Right. Yeah, it's like psychology.
The times where I do not feel appreciated, I don't want to be there. I half-ass everything. And I don't feel as recognized. But then that simple good job after a long day and just sweat, blood, tears, and when your manager goes up to you, pats you in the back, and goes, "Good job." As simple as that has made the world, like the difference of just not coming to work with a great attitude and then or coming to work the next day brimming with positivity and wanting to do more. And I'm sure that manager has someone higher up that did that to them.
Exactly.
Right? And it's just this kind of feedback
It
loop.
is.
And so keeping a positive mindset in terms of friends, family, and relationships, how do you maintain a positive mindset when dealing with challenges in friendships and family relationships?
So for that, every relationship has its ups and downs, right? Not everything is rainbows and ponies and sparkles and everything. Life happens. Miscommunication happens. And the first thing to understand is that not everyone sees the world through your lens, right? You have to try and see it from their perspective. So let's say you're having an argument with your friend about a disagreement, just a slight disagreement, and you're trying to tell them, why can't you see it my way? Why can't you see it my way? On their end, they're probably thinking the same thing. Why can't you see it my way? Why can't you see it my way? So what I do with that is I take a step back, reflect a bit, be like, hey, I wonder why they're feeling that way. Let's say they had a tough day at school, but you didn't know that. So you try to imagine these scenarios that will make them reflect and make them think the way that they're thinking. You're like, okay, if I was this person feeling this certain way, I wouldn't want to be treated another way. But it's a golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. So if I'm having an argument with you, I wouldn't want to be spoken to disrespectfully. You have to keep that same lesson, right? So when it comes to positive mindsets, I wouldn't say quite would be positive, but it would be more like an understanding, compassionate and more empathetic type of mindset when it comes to ups and downs like that. Yeah.
When we get into arguments, we always want to be right. But being right doesn't necessarily mean you're going to come out of the relationship better. Sometimes it's all right. It's actually the best solution is to understand the other person, and maybe what they're saying necessarily may not sit right with you, but it may develop and enhance your relationship more if you took a step back and go, okay, maybe I don't agree 100% with what this person is saying. They have their own beliefs, but I got to find some common ground, right?
Exactly.
Because I feel like with a lot of people that I love and care about, it doesn't matter how compatible you guys are. There's going to be a time where you guys are going to disagree on a certain thing, whether it be as little as which restaurant to go to, or it may be as deep as, okay, how do we deal with this person, our mutual friend or family member that we have to be around, but doesn't like the other? And we need to find a solution, and you need to be able to find kind of that empathy, as you said, right? Has that always been the case? Have you always been empathetic?
No. I was the type of person where it's my way or highway. And if you didn't see it my way, then I couldn't have you in my life. So I was very closed off, closed-minded, was not understanding whatsoever, pretty quick to anger. I don't know what was the root cause of it or anything like that, but all I knew was that I had to improve because my life was not getting any better. I was losing relationships. I was struggling in the relationships that I was in. And whether it be with my girlfriend or with my parents or with my friends, I just started to realize I'm unhappy. And there's one thing that all these relationships have in common, and that's me. I'm the common ground, right? All these people are different, yet all these relationships are struggling. The only common thread is my behavior. So no, I've not always been, I don't even say I'm completely open-minded yet, but I have tried to become a more understanding person and a little bit less quick to react in a negative way. Other than that, like, every day is a learning lesson, and I meet different people every day, hopefully. And by meeting all these people, they start giving me different perspectives, which makes me more understanding and hopefully have more empathy to someone who is completely different from me, right? And yeah.
Kudos to you for recognizing that you are at fault, but I'm sure it must have taken a lot of self-reflection to be able to get to this conclusion. I was the same way, where this person doesn't get me. I'm going to cut this person off. Oh, that person cut me off. Not my fault. It's their fault. Like they didn't show up to that event. Like, I'm the good friend here because I'm the one that's trying. But then take a step back and it's, wait, who's the common denominator here? Is it, no, it's not them, it's me. And you hear that with the person who has a bunch of girlfriends or boyfriends or all these people hating on them. They have a lot of friends that they've cut off. It seems to be every single person is bad or evil and resentful and out to get them. But then the common denominator is them. And unless it's just a coincidence that, hey, 10 people have wronged you and they're just bad people, I don't know, like the chances are pretty slim.
Statistically,
yeah,
there's a higher chance of you being the one with the issues, right?
But it's one of those things where it's so hard for people to swallow because that ego that we have.
Right. And that's where humility comes in, right? My parents always used to tell me that I was a really arrogant person where I could never be wrong and I would always fight with them. I was like, no, I'm not arrogant. Even me saying that's arrogance, right? Like you should be able to understand that you're flawed, right? And everybody else is flawed too. But the first step in understanding why other people are flawed is to understand that you too are flawed, right?
And so everybody is flawed and there's nothing wrong with recognizing our imperfections. Because I see these people who struggle with a lot of guilt and a lot of shame because they have this thing that they're not good at. Maybe they fail at a certain thing. Maybe they're just trying, and nobody's perfect. And even if you hit that goal of yours, whether it be about your body, whether it be about education or that relationship, you're gonna find something. And it's just having that humility and that honesty to yourself and the being content with what you've got. It's hard to find that, and it's a constant battle every day. You have to remind yourself every single day of, hey, I'm human. Humans have flaws, right? It's okay. So what strategies do you use to stay optimistic and motivated in your personal relationships, especially during difficult times?
Personal relationships and strategies. Honestly, one of them would be the golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. There's one thing that really would trigger me when I would be in difficult conversations is the fact that I'm not being heard. If someone is listening but not really listening to what I'm saying, that is probably one of the biggest things that I think will affect anybody. Everybody just wants to be heard, right? So if we're having a disagreement about something, I will make it known to you that, yes, I understand you. I understand where you're coming from. I understand that you're hurting and I'm hurting, but we have to also remember that it's not you versus me. It's you and me versus the issue, right? No one's going to win if it's you versus me. We're trying to leave this challenge stronger, right? Not weaker, not a relationship being weaker, but yeah, so what I would say is just empathy would be one big strategy to have. And humility, right? It's full circle again. It's just humility, empathy, compassion, and just trying to understand where other people are coming from.
But for a person that doesn't know how to empathize, what would you advise them? I mean, coming from a person that was told they were arrogant and did a lot of self-work to finally recognize that, hey, I am the common denominator out of all these relationships. What did you do, and how would you advise someone
to grow, like to have empathy?
Yes,
that would be a hard one because, like, it's not like black and white. There's not certain steps in how to be a good person, right? It's trial and error. I would say meet different people with different perspectives. Open up your world. If you're seeing the same type of people every day and not really pushing yourself and stepping out of your comfort zone, you're only getting one line of perspective, right? So that's where traveling comes in. You meet all these different people from different walks of life, different cultures, the way that they behave, and then you start seeing, okay, my way is not the only way. We have so many countries, so many cultures. There are other ways to grow that, right? So honestly, I would just say expand who you're around. Surround yourself with people who are also open-minded. right? And who are always willing to try new things, because gaining perspective is not just a one way, like one path. It is many, many paths to break off by meeting new people, forming new relationships, making new memories, right? That's I would say would be my biggest thing.
And what about if you meet someone that like you advise to put yourself out there? What about for the people that are mean and rude and disrespectful to you? How would you go about that?
Well, I wouldn't really label people as mean or disrespectful or rude, but I would just say that they're struggling, that there's some internalized battle that they have with them. So at that point, I wouldn't say distance yourself, but sit down with them and be like, hey, like, what you said to me hurt my feelings. I am not labeling you as mean, but you did make me feel lesser of a person, and I really want to try and fix this with you. Now, if you see that your values misalign with their values, they're just not open to it, take a step back from the relationship a bit. Don't put your mental health at risk just trying to help people. Just realize, okay, they might need some more alone time a little bit, try to reflect on it. Maybe one day they'll wake up, because that's what happened to me. My friends started distancing themselves from me. And one day I woke up and I said, why am I alone? Oh, because of this, right? So sometimes they're adults. They'll take their own steps to figure out that, hey, I did not treat this person correctly. And if they don't, then that's just going to have to be an internal battle with them, right? And they're going to have to figure themselves out.
So many adults go through their entire lives and don't internalize that lesson.
Yeah. And that's what's tough. And that's when bigotry comes in, hate comes in, racism comes in, homophobia comes in. That's when they're just so stuck in their ways that they refuse to see my views, my actions, my words are hurting people.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm a firm believer of no human being in the right healthy mindset would cultivate hate and hate others. It's just not a good feeling, because I've been in that rage where you just look at someone and you judge them for not doing anything, or even if they did something, it's not having any compassion for them. It's not a good feeling. I don't think anyone gets healthy with hate. Like nobody really advises anyone to go, hey, yeah, the more hate you cultivate, the better you're going to go in life. No, you're just going to increase your cortisol levels. You're just going to die earlier because you'll have no friends, no real friends at least. And and as you said, where you conversate with a person when they do wrong, because I feel like so many people don't want to have those tough talks because it's uncomfortable. Like, why would I approach Jenine when I don't have to? Like, we could just forget about it. And what ends up happening is, if you put that under the rug, eventually it stacks up and there's this big bump, and then you can't get through the way. Exactly. It's just this big, huge blockage in the relationship. You guys can't move forward because it's weighing you guys down. Yeah. It's like adding more weight to your backpack when you don't need to. Yep. Just talk it out, release all that weight. And kind of in my family, that's what we did for majority of my childhood. And eventually it blew up, and it just, we had to pick up the pieces and be able to assemble them back. And some of the pieces went missing. And it's just from all that destruction, right? Finding a solution and going, I can't have that happen again. And when your friends distance themselves from you, it's not a good feeling, because I was like, it wasn't that they distanced themselves from me. They actually just cut me off.
Cold turkey.
I was a piece of shit. Like I really was. I didn't really want to hear other people. It was just about me.
Well, it takes balls to admit that, right? To admit that you were wrong.
I'll tell people, like, I was a piece of shit. Like, sometimes I still act like it, but I'll recognize myself and I'll call myself out and I'll apologize, because we're not perfect. And I feel so many people don't recognize that in themselves because it's so shameful. But what ends up happening is, when you recognize that, people actually get closer to you, because here's Adven, like, recognizing that he was a piece of shit. Maybe he is sometimes, apologizes for it, talks about it. maybe I'm not so flawed. Maybe I am just human, right?
Exactly. And what really helped with that growth was university. So when you go to university or college, or you just travel for a year after school or year after high school or something, it's the meeting different people. And you say, hey, well, I'm from my hometown of Sherwood Park and I didn't have many friends there. But Sherwood Park, like, there's still different types of people, but we kind of have the same mindset growing up here, right? It's like,
we're very privileged here.
yes, we're very privileged. We have a little circle. Like, everybody knows everybody. Everybody kind of thinks the same thing. But when you go to university or you go travel, you meet people from different walks of life and you realize that, hey, maybe I should start thinking a different way. Maybe I shouldn't be making fun of that person over there just because it makes me laugh. And in today's culture, like, hate is kind of celebrated a little, and not like hate, but like joking, like a joking way. And sometimes you have to like you have to tell your friends that's not really nice. And even though they might look at you and call you a bum and call you a, Debbie Downer or something like that, it's gonna realize I wouldn't want those people to say that stuff about me, about someone that I care and the people that I surround myself with, right? So that's when you start choosing who you surround yourself with. Not people that will bring someone down because they're failing, but people that will support others, encourage trying new things, and stepping out of your comfort zone. And that's what I'm saying is just open up who you're talking to, who you're forming relationships with. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of the Sherwood Park comfort zone, right?
We are the product of who we surround ourselves with. And to add on to that, we are in control of the topics that are talked about. And you can cultivate an environment that is of positivity, that is of loyalty, gratitude, and just being humble. And you can really instill that in all your friends. Like, I noticed that the topics that I indulge in plays a big role in the topics that get talked about in the future. But if I talk about just negativity, then of course in the future more people are gonna be like, oh, this is what we talked about before. This is probably what he likes to talk about. Or I could just talk about the gym and how, oh wow, look at you complimenting each other. Or like, look at this positive thing that I did, and look at this charity, look at this this travel place, I met this culture. And the topics that the conversations that we all have play such a key fundamental factor onto how we're going to go about our day to day, because it casts a vote onto who we're going to be. And can you share a specific instance where a positive mindset significantly improved your relationship with a friend or family member?
Yeah. So once again, it's full circle. Probably in my third year of university, I found myself in a really dark place. I was struggling, not with school. I was doing well in school, but struggling to maintain relationships. I didn't really have that many friends. Well, I did have friends, but like, they're not strong relationships that I would be like, oh, this person will be my friend till the end, and I trust this person with my life. It was not like that. They're more surface level. This was mainly because with any new person that I would meet at school through an event or through something, if they did one thing that wasn't on my checklist of good things, I would automatically dismiss them, right? Like, oh, you don't agree with me based on this point? Well, you are not my person. You are not going to be my type of people. I'm going to stay away from you now. I'm going to tell others to stay away from you. And that's when I just realized it's not the right thing to do. Like, this is not correct. You're an adult. I'm an adult. I got to start acting like it. I was being a child. And there's no excuse for it. But what I did was then realize, okay, this person is different from me. I am different from them. We can agree to disagree, right? And just find neutral ground on what we agree on. So let's say if we disagree on point A, but maybe we can agree on point B, C, D, E, F, etc., right? And we'll just push point A away for a little bit, unless it's a big issue. If it's a big issue, you're going to keep talking about it, try to resolve it. But if you can't find a way to resolve it, maybe it's time to really look at, do my values align with yours or do they not? So just to reiterate and come back again, I just started to understand things from their perspective, right? And that's honestly what the main thing is here. A positive mindset comes from understanding others and just making sure that you're open to understand others. It's just a big circle, right? There's not really much to say about it.
I find the more I think about myself, the more miserable I become. Like, that's just throughout all my life.
You gotta expand on that.
When I did things for myself, like when I wrote a test, and when I attached the meaning of, okay, I'm gonna get a really good grade, this is gonna be really good for me, I got a 90%, worked my ass off for it. But then I'm like, it feels kind of empty for me. But then as soon as I attach, oh, I'm going to do this for my father, and he really values education, and he's worked a lot. He came all the way from the Philippines and sacrificed 5 years of his life to work minimum wage jobs when we were comfortable in the Philippines and we were fine, but he sacrificed everything, came to this country not knowing anyone, and having that like big belief, not just me, but beyond myself, beyond my mind. And I'm very religious too, and just I found God, and just, or even when I'm like running, like I when I think of the people that can't run, and I go, this is for them, this is for, like, attaching that meaning and going beyond makes me so fulfilled and
that's
purposeful.
the empathy coming in, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the total, it's the empathy
like
coming
understanding others, and going back to how like choosing people that just align with who you are and what you do is such a pitfall. It could be like shooting yourself in the foot.
Exactly.
Because you are turning down a vast array of knowledge available. Like I've talked to so many quote unquote nerds, you know, and I think they're actually they're going to be way more successful than I could ever be, you know, like 4.0s, and they're really good at comp sci. Lots of them going to med school. And here I was in the past going, oh, school's like for nerds. Like who wants to be with those people? They're not cool. Like I'm here with the guys who work out all the time and like go to the bar, and like we do drugs and we drink alcohol, and we fast cars.
Right.
But then I'm like, wait, why don't I just become everyone's friend? Like I could be with those people, and as long as their values aligned, because there are nerds or jocks that are both too, and there are people of different ethnicities, there are people with different interests, and to label people just because they do a certain behavior or engage in a certain activity was so dumb of me. And I feel like a lot of people still do that. And yeah, it's like shooting yourself in the foot. Go talk to that person that you're just wanting to talk to, that you think is cool, or maybe if you don't think is cool, and you make a friend in your lecture. Like university is a place to do it, or anywhere, the gym.
Yeah, because if you feel lonely and like you need friends at university, I'm gonna bet you 99% of people in your class are feeling the exact same way. You're like, why is nobody coming up and talk to me? They're all thinking the same thing. They all want more relationships. No one wants less friends, right? No one wants to make less memories. So the thing is, people are so afraid of judgment and being put in a box and be like, oh, labeled as this, labeled as that. I don't want them to think of me as this, that are just so closed off to that type of stuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when you came up to me at the gym, I was like, why is this guy coming up to me right now? And you like, I had my headphones in. So that's one thing. When I have my headphones in and I don't automatically try to take them off, it means I'm already showing body language and I'm closed off. I'm closed off to conversation. You came, you smiled. So your smile, your body language is more welcoming. So I was like, oh. But my first thought was, why is this man coming up to me right now? Right? And that's I wouldn't say it's a normal behavior, but that's the majority of people. We're all closed off to making connections just like that. Because no one ever just goes up to somebody like that unless there's like underlying meaning to it, which is like, oh, he's hitting on me or she's hitting on me. No one ever thinks that. I mean, no one ever doesn't think that. It was like, oh, this guy came up to me.
Let me tell you, Jenine, since last year, I've been cold approaching people on the bus, at the gym, at work, everywhere all the time. And it really, lots of it has really hurt my feelings. Like a lot of it has really opened me up to like a lot of self-doubt, shame,
Yeah.
guilt, rumors popping up that I'm just hitting on these girls and I'm sizing these guys up, that I'm like, and then I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, gosh, I'm a clown. But what ended up happening was the people that appreciated it, like you, look at this.
Yeah.
It opened up opportunities.
It just falls into place, right?
Yeah. And then even like the people that supported my run, the people that I've made in the gym, there's going to be those people that just don't like you. And
that's okay.
And even initially at the start too, many people haven't liked me. Like, as you said, that's why I really cultivate honesty in a lot of my everyday. And that's not the first time. Some of my closest friends have said, hey, the first time I met you, you seem like a cocky like dick, and you seem like you were really full of yourself. But then, I don't know, you win them over, you talk some more. And even if you don't win them over, at least you tried.
Exactly.
But it's that constant exposure of,
exactly.
Okay, I'm going to put myself out there.
Exactly. And,
it's really hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, but it's good on you because, like we just said, the people that are also open to networking and to creating more connections, it'll just fall into place. Because I love talking to people. Well, people always tell me I'm intimidating. I don't know if it's true, but
you are intimidating.
People always say, I don't want to talk to you because you're so intimidating. And I was like, well, I just want friends. Like, I just come up and talk to me. And they always say that to me. And I'm like, how can I be less intimidating? But
you got like a lot of energy.
That's what I'm always told. I'm always told. But deep down, I'm just like, yes, come up to me. Let's be friends. Like, let's find out if we share some common interests. Let's go on a run together. Let's go eat some food or something like that. So, like you said, you going up to people and getting hurt, those people are just not ready, not open yet, right? But the people that are,
the risks you take.
Exactly. Right.
If you go to the gym, there's the risk of you might injure yourself. You go snowboarding, same thing. You do any physical activity and there's that room for risk. You drive your car, there's the risk of getting in a car crash.
Exactly.
You get into a relationship with someone. And I had a talk with my friend and we talked about love and hate and how they're actually not opposites. They're actually in the same realm. The opposite of love and hate, it's indifference, apathy. Because when you, like, familiarity breeds contempt, because the more you familiarize with someone, the more you love them. Like, say your family or a significant other. When they do something bad that goes against what you believe in, there's that hate that goes and uproars and just you get filled with these intense emotions. You wouldn't feel that way with a stranger. Maybe you might if that stranger actually like did something terrible to you. In that case, like they'd have to do something really, really abysmal and like really terrible, horrible to you.
Yeah.
But I'm talking in terms of just like if they ignore you or if they give you silent treatment, when you truly care about people, there's that risk of getting hurt. And I think we are so scared of getting hurt because it's painful. But you get a dog, you get into a relationship, you start something. Even this podcast has been incredibly painful. I was going through grief yesterday because the camera didn't record well. You do anything, like starting a business, going traveling, you got your passport stolen.
Yeah.
It's painful, right? When you undergo these things that are important to you, there's the side where, okay, this is gonna be painful and it's gonna be also great joy, but it's that kind of balance and that risk that you're willing to take. And that's with the relationships we cultivate, right?
Yeah, exactly. With anybody that your classmate, your parents, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, every relationship has its risks, but there's also so much possibility for growth, right? There's almost so much possibility for this relationship to make you better, to make you more understanding, to make you more kind. So yes, everything has its risk, but everything also has its reward, right? And that's one perspective to always have.
connections we have, I think that's all we've got.
100%. That's 100%. Because yeah, money is a big thing. Like I want to start my own business. So, I'm not really. Well, I am kind of money driven. More so that I can help people that, like my family. My dad works so hard. Sometimes I just want to help him out with stuff like that. I'll provide for my future family, for my girlfriend, for my friends. But it's more of, I want to start this venture because I like to control my own time and control the environment I work in. I used to work in some places that were so toxic where I would dread going into work. I would sit in my car and count down from 10 to 0, be like, oh, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. Auto-tune myself out and just do the same thing. And that's why I want to start my own thing, where I want to create an organization, a company, an environment where people are so excited. Like, I cannot wait to go to work. I cannot wait to bring my ideas, and I cannot wait to become a better person, to become 1% better every day. And that's exactly why I wanted to start my own thing.
That's amazing. And I think we are still so young, and you're already building up all this wisdom and finding the lessons in the hardship, the terrible things that have happened to you, and still cultivating a positive mindset is really, really admirable. Because a lot of people, majority of people, I'd say, don't do that because I feel in today's society, there's that victimhood mentality running rampant. This happened to me. Why should I do any self-work? This is just what happened to me. This is nothing I can do. That person just got lucky. And it seems that you want to be able to create this business so you can do it for others, and you can have a culture where people are excited to go to work, then they are uplifted because you have been in those paradigm or those workplaces that had a paradigm of, okay, it's cutthroat and it's all about me, and it breeds such a hostile environment, and you don't want to be there.
No. And that's not what I want for any employee, for any person working with me. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be around Jenine and around her family or her environment, because it's just not good for me. I would hate that mentality. Even for my friends, I would hate that. That would be the last thing, where people just don't want to be around me because I'm just breeding negativity. Right?
Yeah.
You're vape-free, alcohol-free. Oh, that's so sick. 642 vape-free. Wow.
Yeah, no.
Alcohol-free is a tough one. That's a tough one. Like, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've I not really count down, it's count up.
Count up, not down. Like 642 days till I get to vape again. That'd be so funny.
Effects of traveling on personal growth.
Okay.
How has traveling influenced your personal growth and development?
Perfect. So when it comes to traveling, like I said, we moved around a lot. So I was born in Dubai, and then I moved to the Philippines. We stayed there for a few years, and then we moved to Malaysia, a couple of different cities in Malaysia, and then from Malaysia we moved to Canada. But I didn't move to Sherwood Park till 7th grade, so middle school. So in all that time, like we moved every year of my life. So I've met all these different people, all these friends, and really lived these cultures. Like, Malaysia is a Muslim country, so I understood like the Islam culture. Philippines is a Catholic country, right? And you're Filipino.
Predominantly, yeah.
It's different.
There's some Muslims.
There's some Muslims in like Mindanao and stuff like that. But
are you Filipino?
Yes, my mom's Filipino.
I always sensed it.
Soneja.
Soneja, right.
Yeah. No, my mom's Filipino. But yeah, so when it comes to traveling, then it was tough because I was a kid, and all you want to do when you're a kid is stick around with your friends, grow up with them, go through every grade. But we didn't get to do that until I moved to Sherwood Park. Sherwood Park, we stayed here for a little bit, and then I didn't start traveling around again till maybe like a year ago. So COVID hit. Couldn't get my passport figured out. It was a whole thing. So no traveling. But this past year, I went to a few places, and that's being an adult and seeing and meeting different people and actually being able to do things without your parents and having your own money and financial freedom, that's when you really do your most like self growth, right? So the most memorable trip I have was probably I went to California with my best friend. His name's Anthony. He is this type of person where he's just a free spirit. Very much, I will talk to anyone and everyone, will not be dismissive. Very positive type of guy, like type of person you really want to be around. And he took me out of my comfort zone. For me, I was a planner. I was like, day one, we're doing this. Day two, we're doing this. Day three, he was like, take a breath. Let's explore this city. See what's up. And in that 1 week, we went from surfing to hiking to partying in a city to walking around San Francisco. Like it was really a life-changing trip. Like he really took me out of my comfort zone. And with Anthony, it's funny because he went to high school with me, didn't speak to him all 4 years of high school, went to the same university as me, did not speak to him for the first 3 years of university, and only connected in our last year. So I've known him for 8 years, but on our last year, that's when everything changed. Like this man has changed my life. And this because he came up to me and started talking to me, and we were like, okay, we went through a lot of stuff together and we kind of have similar upbringings. Let's become best friends. And that's what I'm saying is if one person takes that step, like you go up to people, you can just meet that one person that completely changes your life. And Anthony's the one that really brought me up into this traveling thing and just going up to people, going up to the random surfers in the corner just to find the best surf spot. He would do that type of thing. I would be like, no, let's go figure it out ourselves. He's not the type of guy to do that. Or he would talk to the people in the train and be like, where are you guys going tonight? Like, can we join you? And it's just stuff like that that really helped me grow in my independence. I would have never thought to ever take a solo trip, but because of him, like I could do it now. Like I could possibly do it. But yeah, like with you going up to people, it just takes that one person, right? That could completely change your outlook on life. And that was what Anthony brought to me, and traveling. He really helped me out in that perspective.
It's fascinating. You guys knew of each other for 8 years.
Oh, he lived a block behind me. We were walking distance.
And had you guys been friends earlier, though, maybe you wouldn't have worked out because your attitude on life would have been different, and maybe you would have pushed him away. But I think that everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
And you guys met at a perfect time where you are going through your self-growth and you are realizing all these different lessons on how to mitigate the damages in your relationship and how to cultivate compassion and humility. And here Anthony comes and shows you more of life. And now you guys are best buds. And now you guys went on all these trips and you're able to muster up enough courage and inspiration to this guy that you just recently met. And that's what I've learned recently too, is you can become so close to someone in the span of a couple months versus a person that you've been friends with for a decade.
100%.
Quality doesn't necessarily mean the extent, the period of how long you guys have been friends with, because I've been friends with some people for a decade, and it doesn't feel as fulfilling because maybe I've just been forcing it. Maybe they've been forcing it, and we were just so scared to meet new people.
And it's more surface level, because sometimes you just do like surface level things together, right? But when you travel together, that's when you really get to know somebody. You can make or break a friendship or make or break a relationship, right? When
you're traveling with someone, during those times where you guys are struggling to find a place to eat and you're hangry and you are tired from the jet lag and you're nervous because this is a new place, some emotions start to arise. And is this person consistent with how they've been nice to me, or are they just gonna snap randomly? And I've seen that in my family. I've seen that in myself. We just went to New York, and the jet lag, flights were delayed, and my dad and I barked at each other, but it's finding that common ground, and it's finding that the tough talk and taking accountability. And it's not
you versus them, it's you and them, right?
And I'm sure, like, have you and Anthony been in those situations?
Okay, we've been on 2 trips together, and maybe we've had maybe about 12 days consecutively. No, maybe like one little argument.
Those are always the best friendships too.
Yeah,
hey?
and it was more like a misalignment of energy level. I was not at his level, like in terms of I was like kind of tired, and he was like, "Let's do this, let's do this."
It's like, yeah, let's go get after
me
it.
being me, I was like, okay,
I just want to chill.
I want to chill for a second, and then I snapped at him. I yelled at him, and he yelled back at me, and then 2 seconds later, we went, "Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," and we just hugged it out.
Yeah, there you go.
That's just like that's mutual understanding. That's when you just find that type of person that just aligns with your values. You guys are not fighting with each other. You're just you're tired, right?
Did he go to Vegas with you?
Yes, he went to Vegas.
I think I've met Anthony. I've met him. He's in engineering.
Yes.
Yeah, that's him. I've met Anthony. Yes. He's like a really positive guy, and and I remember seeing him around school. I don't know, he was that friendly.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that either. All of high school, I was like, that man does not want to speak to me, and he thought of the same thing of me. That's what I'm saying. 99% of the people are probably thinking the same thing you're thinking. He thought I was intimidating. I thought he was intimidating. We didn't speak for 8 years until this year. And the thing is, when you surround yourself with such positive energy, you attract more positive, like-minded people. And I don't know what happened just after me and Anthony really developed a friendship. Like, these people started coming to my life. Like, my girlfriend now, she's one of the most positive, most easygoing, open-minded people I've ever met. And we went to Vegas. I was like, it's our first trip together. Kind of risky. New relationship. What's going to happen? And nothing. She was awesome. It was hot. You know, everything was expensive. We were tired, but never once did she snap. Never once. She was just so chill, so easygoing. And I'm saying, positive energy just attracts more positivity, right? You want to surround yourself with people, and then more good people just keep entering your life.
This is a beauty of what you put out into this world is what you're going to get back. If you put out negativity, of course you're going to attract negative people. If you breed out positive, if you put in positive, people are going to go, hey, I resonate with that. Let's I want to talk to Jenine. And because you end up screening for people that do have a bad mentality, because like some people don't really like positivity. A comment that's been made about me is you're too positive. I've heard that before, but it's BS. I don't agree with that at all. But you meeting your girlfriend, meeting Anthony, it seems that ever since you've taken this journey to be able to look at yourself from within and find that, okay, this is how a relationship should be like, and be able to acknowledge the mistakes that you have made, good things have happened.
Exactly. And when you said earlier, oh, there are 10 people in a row that dislike me, and the chances of that happening are pretty slim, it's just because you just keep putting out negativity. Negativity just keeps coming back in. You're looking, like you said, looking for the red car. You look for red cars, you're going to find red cars. It's like that. You're looking for the negative characteristic that you're just going to see. You're not going to even look at the positive things they bring to the table. You're just going to keep focused on the things that don't matter, right? But when you just let go of all of that and just be able to realize that life is so good, but it's only as good as you make it, right? I'm not any richer than I was 2 years ago when I was struggling. I'm not in any bigger house. I'm driving the same car. But I realize I'm happier now because I just completely switched my mindset, right? I'm like, I should stop looking at how negative life is and start looking at the positivity. Just, I wake up every morning. I can use both my legs. I can get to the gym. I get to go to school. I get to be around people, right? And that's what's just so different than what I used to think. I used to be like, oh, I have to go to school. Oh, I have to wake up. Oh, I have to go to the gym. No, you get to. You get to do all these things that make you a better person. And that's what completely changed for me.
A great deal of people do not get that opportunity to go to school, to go to the gym, to take a shower, to have a good meal, to see your friends and family. And wealth is not in having great possessions, but it's in wanting few. Epictetus said that, and I pondered on that, and I'm like, wealth isn't money, because there's so many billionaires that have everything, but they're actually some of the saddest people. And actually, a quote by Elon Musk that I keep repeating because people look at Elon Musk and they go, "Oh, he's the richest man in the world. Must be so cool. I could just buy everything." But do you really want that? And he says that what's that called? My mind is a storm. I don't think most people would want to be me. They may think they'd want to be me, but they don't know. They don't understand. And some person may have everything you could possibly want in the world. They've got the height, they've got the physique, they've got the trophy wife, they've got the wealth, the job status. But in their head, maybe they're never satisfied. Maybe it's a result of slow self-esteem that they do cover all these things up. But then it goes back to the positivity, right? What do you have? And like the wealth comes from the connections that we have. It comes from the moments, like you traveling with Anthony and you realizing that, hey, I'm going down this bad path and my friends are slowly distancing themselves off from me. Maybe I should be better. And that's the way to happiness. Like there's just so many things that come at us, but it's deriving lessons out of them, no matter how tough life gets. And then traveling is a way of teaching us like how to go about this chaotic life.
Yeah. And though I have to make a point that sometimes people can't afford to travel, right? I got very lucky with mine, with work and stuff, but it's not even just about physically leaving your country or your town. Traveling could all just mean a different thing. It just means go to the north side of the city. There's different types of people there. Go to the south side. There's different types of people there, right? How about instead of going to your business class, maybe take a detour, go to the physics class. That would be traveling too. You're just stepping out of your comfort zone. That's exactly what it should be, because not everybody has the opportunity to pack up their stuff and go and travel and stuff. But to build that connection, those connections, and to build that understanding and empathy is just stepping out of your comfort zone, right?
You're right. Traveling doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to the other side of the world.
Mm-mm.
It could just be it could just be trying that Vietnamese restaurant in Brentwood, or going to that bowling event that is open to the public.
Or a mixer, like a public mixer, something like stuff like that. Like it just means stepping out of your comfort zone, right?
I've actually never been to one. A mixer?
Me neither. And I'm a business student.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've never been to one. I'm a business student. Because I used to avoid those. I was so nervous for those. I was like, okay, how am I supposed to move up in my career if I'm not willing to go out and make those connections, right? So watch out, U of A, next year.
Janine's coming.
I'm coming to every single one.
She's going to be at every single mixer.
Like, where did you come from?
Where'd you come from?
I've been here the whole time.
I've been here this is my 5th mixer for the day. on all the mixers. Yeah, no, I'm actually late August. Are you going to be here?
Probably, yes.
Okay, no, I'm going to host the Sherwood Park banger. Or I gotta think of something more formal, but the Sherwood Park Gala, the long-term event, something. I'm going to make it happen. So you better show up.
I need to see that.
What lessons have you learned from your travels that you apply to your daily life and interactions?
Patience. Life throws stuff at you. Your itinerary is not gonna be handy once life throws shit at you, right? Be open to flexibility. Be open to talking to people, and always kind of have like a backup plan too. Like if plan A is for you to, I don't know, see museum A, B, and C, how about have a backup plan for plan B? How about you go to the beach instead? Right? So be flexible, be patient, realize that things don't really go your way, and be prepared. Don't decide to go to Peru with $100 in your pocket and no hostel booking, because you're going to make it a little bit hard on yourself, but that's when flexibility comes, right? You got to be ready to talk to someone. Hey, can I sleep on your couch? If you're going to go there unprepared, be ready to be flexible. Don't be picky, and be patient. Be patient. Stuff always comes, right?
To acquire all these memorable experiences, you're gonna have to deal with discomfort, and whether it be sleeping on someone's floor or their uncomfortable, dirty couch,
Yeah.
or a cheap motel or a hostel,
Yeah.
yeah, it comes with a price.
Yep.
And yeah, you can't come back to Sherwood Park, Canada, with just in debt. Right? You need to be smart about that, and just being
Yeah, be
patient goes a
smart.
long way.
As a business student, you have to be smart. I'm not going to say go rack up credit card debt because you have to go travel. Be smart about it. But also, money comes and goes. Make memories. And I would have paid triple what I paid for my California trip if I had to do it again. I don't care. The stuff that helped me grow and I learned from, I would pay quadruple and just to
Wow.
redo it again, because that's how much that trip with that man really impacted me.
That's amazing. I'm happy to hear that trip meant a lot to
Thank
you,
you.
and you've
Appreciate
derived
that.
a lot of growth. And I'd say traveling provides us with so many feelings of that we can't even explain, hey, because it's so novel. Because we
Mhm.
go in our hometown or just where we live, it's just everyday monotonous, and sure, you can change it up, be novel here and there, but literally every single day when you're in a different place, it's just something new.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's like you wake up and you're like, I cannot wait to do whatever it is I have to do today. But like this, like monotony, especially like living here. Sorry, Sherwood Park, love you. But it gets pretty monotonous. You wake up, go to the gym, you work, you come back, you see the same friends. But when you go on that trip and it just changes your like perspective on stuff, it's crazy. Like I thought like I could stay in Sherwood Park my whole life because it feels safe to me. It feels like home. But now I'm just like, maybe when I'm like have kids and stuff, but now I'm just like, I want to move here, here, here. I can't even make up my decision on which city I want to move to after university, because I'm just like, just so many different places and so many different cultures that I want to be part of, right?
Which place are you leaning more onto right now?
If money was not an object, and it would be San Francisco. If money is an object, which it is, Montreal, 100%. I love Montreal. That would be, or Vancouver. I want to say Canada, but San Francisco is my number one right now, or San Diego. Montreal will probably be my next move though, because I just love that city. It's beautiful. The culture is gorgeous. The people are sweet. I don't know. It's just a beautiful city, and there's a lot of market need for what I want to open and what I want to create. And yeah,
Dope. Uh, can you share a memorable travel experience that had a profound impact on your perspective or mindset?
travel experience. Okay, I would say when I went to Toronto, there's a place called the Village. And the Village it serves the people of the LGBTQIA community, right? We don't have a village here in Edmonton, a place where one can feel safe, welcome, and open. I'm not saying we're not, but we just don't have a place catered to those needs. And so when I went to the Village and I see so many people that are just like me, you know, part of the LGBTQIA community, that's what made me really click in my head. I want to open a venture that serves as a safe space for people that don't have one. Whether it be in Edmonton, whether it be in Montreal, whether it be in Vancouver, Toronto, I want to create a haven, right? And when I was walking there in that area of just a couple square blocks of LGBTQIA services, I was just like, wow, we need this. We need something like this in every city, because it's not really nice to feel like you're the only type of person, right? And growing up, when I first moved here, I don't know if I was, but I did not know that many other people that were openly gay. And it was until going to university where I found other people like that. But going to Toronto, I saw so many people that were like me, and that's what really made me come to terms with the fact that I want to open venues for gay people and for people of that community, just to feel that they can do whatever they want and be safe with no hate, no prejudice, and no judgment, right?
That's amazing. I mean, the gay community, they've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. I mean, from gay marriage being banned from like 20 years ago, 30 years ago,
Yeah,
to
I know.
now it's like most countries approve of it?
There's still some that aren't, but I think the majority are pretty good with it. Sometimes I forget. It's like sometimes I remind myself, and that's what's weird about traveling. I have to search up as a gay person. Is this a safe place for gay people to go to? Is it legal for me to hold my girlfriend's hand and give her a kiss? And that's one of the things that it's still a work in progress for, globally. But that's one of the fears that we have to have is, will I be safe? And that's just one thing that people who aren't part of the community just don't understand.
Right? I have some gay friends, and what I don't really understand though is the LGBTQIA. QIA.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what does that encompass? Is it just?
I don't really have that much expertise on it, but I know it's lesbian, bisexual, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But I just say that. I say the whole thing because that's what I was taught in school. I don't really have that much knowledge when it comes to gender identity. All I know is that I do identify as a lesbian, and I have since I was 5 years old. So me finding other people that are so sure that that's what they are or are part of that community just feels nice, right? But
that's great that you're able to be yourself and be with other people in the village, right? And you want to create a safe haven in Sherwood Park or Edmonton one of these days?
Maybe Edmonton, but hopefully Montreal.
That's awesome.
Maybe I'll find my way back to Edmonton eventually, but as of right now, I think I've seen all I've needed to see in Edmonton. And my sisters are all leaving for different colleges, so they're not going to be here. My dad's moving away, so all my family is going to leave. There's nothing really keeping me here once I finish school, so we're going to see what happens.
It's fair. I can't wait to see all the great accomplishments that you'll be
so
doing.
Sweet.
Yeah. So the correlation between positive mindset, personal growth from traveling, and starting a personal venture. How have your experiences with maintaining a positive mindset and traveling influenced your decision to start a personal venture?
Well, it comes back to what I just said. I just love seeing people and others be happy and finding a place where they can grow as a person. And it came back to what we were talking about, employee environment, right? So creating a personal venture, I just want to create a space that serves the needs of others while helping them grow. Yes, I want to be self-sufficient. I want to be successful. Those are my selfish reasons, but there are other reasons for me to do that. And when it comes to traveling, I want to see what cities lack that market need, right? If I go to City 1 and I see they don't have that many places that cater to the gay community, okay, maybe I want to start one here. Maybe it's City 2, City 3, City 4, and that's what traveling really comes in. If I hear people say, yeah, we don't really have a place you can go and be ourselves, I'm like, okay, now that's something that I need to try and help, right? And that's where the traveling and the personal venture and just my internal goals and external goals come in.
Stories I've heard that where this person comes out in their 40s after already having kids, right? And they lived their entire lives and they weren't them. I feel like it's like an internal prison.
That's tough, right?
And I've never met anyone, but I have heard those stories where it's like a woman who was lesbian their entire life, or a man that's gay. And it's just, having kind of normalizing that, hey, that it is okay to be able to come out, and maybe your family may not approve of it, but hey, there is a community out there that will accept you and that will love you for who you are.
Exactly. And I want to help at least a little bit. If they feel like they can't be themselves at home, at least there's some place that they can take off the mask for a second and just be like, yes, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got a family member and she just recently came out as lesbian, or I think bisexual, but the parents just don't approve of it. And they had said that if you get married to a woman, we will disown you.
I've had that talk to, not by my dad, but yeah, that's just one of the biggest things that people have to worry about in that community, right? And it's just really sad to see. But I think honestly, like our world with our generation, I think we're becoming more and more open-minded and more welcoming to that. And people who do breed hate and contempt are kind of looked down upon. Because why does it matter who they love, right? Like, why does that bother you so much? It's not like we're telling you have to love somebody. Why does my lifestyle choice affect you so badly? But that's what I like about our generation, is that we are really trying, we're more into activism, more into love, and more into acceptance. And we're really trying to tear down like negativity. And that's what helps, right? Is like our people our age are really trying to create change and kind of push away and probably maybe even change the parents' minds, grandparents' minds, right? Because my parents, one of my parents wasn't really a big fan of the fact that I did come out. But eventually they just learned to live with it. Like, okay, it doesn't change them as a person. It does not change their goals. It does not change what I think of them at all. But you just gotta not be afraid to be who you are. And though there are countries where that's not allowed and you do have to fear for your safety, and that's what struggles is like, I really wish I could create places where people can just go and be themselves, right? Where they're not afraid to be hurt by others. And yeah, that's what that village in Toronto really opened my eyes to. I was like, wow, people can have this. We can have this, right?
Gay people are some of the happiest people I've met. Truth be told, no,
It's
really,
in the word.
like, yeah,
Gay
no,
means
like,
happy.
so bubbly, so happy. I'm like, is that possible to be that happy and that like ecstatic about everything?
That's so
and
funny.
then I see other people like, they seem so gloomy. And I talked to the gay guy, and he's just so out there, just so in for novelty, and for everything's booming, and there's butterflies, rainbows.
Yeah, and like with that, I think it kind of, you could see that coming back because they're so afraid of what they were when they were kids, or holding themselves back. They were like, oh, I gotta be this little shell. That when they're like, fuck it, like I can do it, I can be whoever I want. It just comes out, right?
Yeah, it's just like
like fuck it.
That deep tension rising inside, but then once you're able to release it and you become your true self, it's like, it's like that. Finally.
Yeah, and they're like, I don't care. I've already had one of the biggest like fights and battles, internal battles. Now doesn't matter. Now I'm just gonna take life by its horns and be like, yeah, this is who I am, and this is what I want to be, and I'm just gonna do it.
That's awesome. What role do you think personal growth through travel plays in building the resilience needed for entrepreneurship?
Oh, yes, because life throws shit your way, right? And when you create your own venture, shit will get thrown at you, and you need to stand up, dust yourself off, think carefully, make necessary steps and adjustments, whether it be financially or personally, and just understand, like, yeah, not everything is black and white. Things will happen. Economic downturns will happen. COVID might happen again, knock on wood. Maybe your employees don't like you. Maybe they don't listen to you. Maybe your boss is not working. Maybe your manager's not working. But just realize you're prepared for this. You've prepared for this. Where you're not going to open a business not knowing what you need to do. You've prepared for any type of uncertainties, right? And just realize, I'm smarter than this. I've prepared for this. Let me go back and check it. So be flexible. Don't be dismissive when it comes to, oh crap, something happened. Scratch it. Next thing. No, just keep trying and trying again. I'm pretty sure all the billionaires in the world with all their businesses and companies have failed multiple times, right? But they're not going to give up. They're going to be like, okay, I learned this lesson. I'm going to apply that to my next lesson, and just keep going. Just keep going. Money's going to go away, but just keep trying. Just keep trying. Just keep trying. Just keep trying. Learn and keep trying. Don't keep doing the same thing. Just be open to taking lessons from people that may know more than you, right? Don't think you know everything.
Thank you. I needed that. No, truly. Today, I was actually just so, like, I failed so miserably yesterday because the camera just didn't work properly and I put in so much effort. Yes, you're right, Jenine. Failure is formative. It is not final.
It's going to happen. But Adven, you're a smart kid. You prepared for this.
Yeah, I gotta prepare.
You're not gonna die.
Yeah, not gonna die.
And there's always a fix for everything.
Yes. And if I do die, then I did the very best that I could at the end of the day.
At least you're like, at least I tried. Whatever. But as long as you're not, whatever you're doing is not hurting other people, hurting yourself or illegal,
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay. I think you prepared for it.
And once we become billionaires, though, maybe we take off from the top, you know, to the road.
Maybe.
How do you, a billionaire? How does that even happen? Like,
I don't know. I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was like, wow, the difference between $1 million and $1 billion is insane.
I don't think anyone's happy having that much money. Like, if you woke up the next day having $1 billion, like, you'd be just, there'd be a miserable life. Like,
I would say it would make life easier in terms of comfort, but not more fulfilling.
No, but your relationships, though. People would come up to you and be like, hey, Jenine,
that's what I'm saying.
Long time no see.
Yeah, you'll have a nicer chair, nicer microphones or whatever, but it won't be more fulfilling, right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And you're going to start having to really screen the people that you're around. And that's why I always tell people, if I ever win the lottery, I will not tell anyone, but there may be signs, which is like, maybe I'll get bigger wheels for the truck or something like that.
Hey, Jenine, how come 10 vacations this year? Huh? Quit your job. No, definitely don't quit your job. No. Then that would be too much of a giveaway. Can you give an example of how a travel experience or a mindset shift directly impacted a business decision or venture you embarked on?
Yes, I could do that. So when I was in my first year of university, I wanted to go to law school. So when I started U of A with a degree in political science, I was not enjoying it, but I was very money driven. Money was my number one thing. I was like, I don't care how unhappy I am and how boring and how uninteresting I find it for myself. Not that law is boring, it just was not my thing. Money is my number one thing. Hated it. I did not enjoy any of my classes. They were interesting, but not to me, right? And I could see my peers so excited for class discussions, really doing study groups first year over Zoom. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I just really not on their level? Yeah, I was just like, no, for me, I was literally sitting there like, okay, guys, like, let's take a chill.
Calm down.
It's like, COVID. Like, is this even real? But then I was like, maybe this isn't the thing for me, right? So I was living 1 year in Lloydminster. And then I realized like everybody there, not everybody, but I was kind of surrounded myself with people who really didn't think of school that much. Like they were there to already have the college experience. So their values in terms of academic really did not align with mine. So in turn, my perspective of school really took a dive. So then I moved back to Edmonton after school ended that year. And then I met other people from U of A who were different. They were driven, academically inclined, had careers in mind. And I started hanging around them and being with them. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And that's what I'm saying. Traveling doesn't have to be far. This was it's just a city 2 hours away from Edmonton, where I realized this is really not my type of values that I want to be with. Moved 2 hours back west. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I think I'm not going to be money driven anymore. I'm going to do what makes me happy. So I opened up the course catalog, looked at everything. I was like, business seems cool. My dad has his own business and he seems like he can spend time with his kids no matter what. He has money, I think. He could be lying. We're comfortable. And he just seemed like a really chill guy. So I was like, maybe I'll go into business. Got into business. And yeah, that's when my life changed. I was like, hey, I want to create something for myself and help other people be happy and surround myself with people with the same like-minded attitude. So yeah, so it wasn't even a big travel thing. It was just a different town, met different people, realized this is not what I really want to surround myself with. Let me move back, find people that that align more and will help me grow, because I was not growing in my first year. I did poorly, but barely passed my first year. I had no drive whatsoever to be successful. And I was like, okay, this needs to change an environment right now. Then that's exactly what I did. But yeah.
It seems that anytime you're in a tough situation, you just immediately shift to a positive outcome or a positive behavior routine. Yeah. It seems, because I think for me, I don't always go like that. I'll be so used to the routine and I'll just go, okay, might as well keep traveling here. But it seems that as soon as you notice, like, how is that always the case? Where you notice something that it doesn't align with your values, and then you just immediately switch.
Yeah, it hasn't always been the case. More, usually I'd be like, okay, maybe you're dismissing it a little too quickly. Maybe give it a chance. But then you just realize you're not going anywhere. You're stuck. You're stuck. So that's when you decide, okay, if I'm not getting better, and I was 18 at the time. 18, you're supposed to be changing every single day. You're supposed to be improving every single day. If you're stuck at 18, you got to figure it out, right? So that's when you decide, okay, if it's not working for me, time to move on. Give it time, because sometimes you could be dismissive of some stuff at first. Give it time and really be open to trying to see if this could change. And if it doesn't, then switch it up, right? Switch it up.
Thank you so much for coming on the long-term podcast.
Thank you for having me. I had such a blast.
Yeah. Is there any last words for the listeners, the viewers?
No, I would say, actually, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say be kind, be funny. Don't dismiss the guy that comes up to you at the gym with a smile on his face, and be happy. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Jenine Soneja.
Soneja.
Everyone.
Thank you.
And as always, to everyone listening, watching, there is a place for you in this chaotic world. Never lose hope, strengthen your faith, and keep it long-term. Peace. Oh yeah. Everything went well. Thank God.